The pretrial judge in the federal case is married to a former Pfizer executive who is this guy. And the judge holds hundreds of thousands of dollars in stock, including in healthcare companies and pharmaceutical companies. And so this has been ordered by this judge, Catherine H. Parker, United States Magistrate Judge. And as we know, she's married to a former Pfizer executive. The judge in the Luigi Mangione case, married to a former PHARMA dude? Turns out that is the report from Ken Klippenstein and Dan Bogus Law. You see, they have revealed this to all of us, saying that the pretrial judge in the federal case is married to a former Pfizer executive who is this guy. So the judge who's presiding over this case is named Catherine Parker. This is a recent order from her, and we're in the federal court. So Mangione has been charged in 3 different locations. Pennsylvania for gun charges, where he was found at the McDonald's. The state charges for murder and terrorism brought by Alvin Bragg at the state level. We also have the feds who charged him, indicted him later. That is this case right now, and she is the judge in the federal court. And she just issued this order days before Christmas saying, we're confirming that the government has an obligation to disclose any evidence that's favorable to the defendant. So if there's any information that's exculpatory, they have to give it to Luigi. The obligation applies regardless of whether it's admissible evidence. The government has to disclose this stuff, part of the Brady rules. Now, as part of these obligations, they must also disclose any information that can be used to impeach the trial testimony of government witnesses within the meaning of this case law. So if it might impugn our witnesses, and they have it, they should disclose it to the defense. They have to. Now, the foregoing obligations are continuing ones. These obligations also apply to other information. In the event the government believes that a disclosure might compromise something like national security or victims' rights, you can let the court know, and then the court will make a decision about whether to disclose that to the defense. This is a very standard order. Now, for purposes of this order, the government has an affirmative obligation to get information that might be exculpatory based on what the defendant has been charged with. And if the government fails to comply with this order, in addition to ordering the production, the court could impose sanctions on the prosecutors for failing to oblige. They could also dismiss the charges and all of the things. And so this has been ordered by this judge, Catherine H. Parker, United States Magistrate Judge. And as we know, she's married to a former Pfizer executive. So Ken Klippenstein got this one out, says that Catherine Parker, who's overseeing the pretrial hearings for Luigi, is married to this dude, Brett Parker, former Pfizer executive, and the judge holds hundreds of thousands of dollars in stock, including in healthcare companies and pharmaceutical companies. Man. The judge's ties to the healthcare business are a stark reminder of how this is everywhere. Parker's husband, Brett Parker, left Pfizer in 2010, where he served as vice president and general counsel after holding the same titles at Wyeth, another pharmaceutical manufacturer that was purchased by Pfizer. Like everywhere, man. According to Parker's disclosures, her husband Brett still collects a pension from his time at Pfizer in the form of a senior executive retirement plan, or a SERP. Pfizer is the largest pharmaceutical company, $58 billion in 2023. Man, those jabs were good for them. Is known for manufacturing the jab. The company also had its share of controversies. They spend millions on grants. Judge Parker holds between 50 and 100 grand in Pfizer stock. It's like rough day if you're a defendant. Like, you just got off the street from eliminating some pharma CEO in the back, and you're sitting in court, and your judge is like married to a pharma bro, and the judge is stacking her stock portfolio. She's watching the Pfizer, looking at him. How do you plead to this? Good. All right, get that out of the way. Not guilty. My stock is still the same. Okay, that's good. It's not good. Parker also holds scattered interest in pharmaceutical, biotech, healthcare companies like Abbott Laboratories, owner of St. Jude Medical. Abbott has drawn criticism in recent years for manufacturing toxic baby formula. Look at all this money. Parker also has got pharmaceutical, biotech investments in Viatris, Intellia Therapeutics, AC Technology, CRISPR Therapeutics. Sheesh. So all of that came out in their report. Here's what the report looks like. The financial disclosure. This is the judge, Catherine H. Parker. She is the district court judge in New York. And of course, this, I think, alone doesn't impugn her, obviously, because judges can make investments and they can have financial interests and do other things. But when it's directly in pharma and your husband's like a pharma dude, a pharma bro, you might just want to recuse for the appearances of impropriety alone. But here is some of 401k plans. We've got spouse's non-investment income, 2023 Pfizer, pension, and the CERT payout. There it is right there. So husband's got some pharma money. Man, pharma money's everywhere. They have so much of it. They just are paying off everybody, and lots of other investments. So we'll see if if this causes anything to emerge, whether Luigi Mangione's attorney is going to file a motion or a notice of recusal, and whether the judge will respond to this or voluntarily recuse. We'll see. But we've got more, because in Luigi's case, they're asking about this murder charge and the terrorism charge, more specifically, that was attached onto it by Alvin Bragg. New York Times bringing it up, saying this is going to be a new test for anti-terrorism laws. Says he brought this charge because it was sowing fear. That's going to be the allegation, and that is terrorism. 6 days after 9/11, New York passed sweeping anti-terrorism laws. 9/11 was a pretty big terrorist attack, but this one, little bit different. Their decision to characterize this as a political act will test the law, says the Times. Going to have implications beyond the courtroom. He got a handwritten manifesto decrying the healthcare system, and that could increase the strength of the charges, but whether it's terrorism, we'll see. Alvin Bragg has argued that the terrorism charge is warranted. It was meant to send a message to the public. Mr. Mangione said at a news conference intended to sow fear. Another person called Zachary Carter, who served as the U.S. attorney in Brooklyn, said that based on what he has been made public, it fits the definition of terrorism. It allows for harsher sentences. Prosecutors can use criminal charges to punish people for what they say and do. And so they're saying here they wanted to send a message. If you're going to shoot somebody in the back and write messages on bullets, we're going to charge you with terrorism. So we'll keep our eye on Luigi Mangione. We'll see if Catherine Parker makes any comments on this relationship or if the parties bring it up, and she'll be forced to respond. Thanks for subscribing and joining as we do.